Welcome to News You Missed. From the trading floor to the command line to the cloud. Here's everything humming in today's global circuit.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for that wondrous introduction, Drew. Today is Thursday, the 23rd of October, 2025, and the world is upside down, inside out, and back to front. We've got crazy stories. Sounds like everybody's going bust today, but I don't think they are. But let's find out anyway. Drew, what's your first story?
Washington confirmed plans for the first ever National Guard response force, trained for the civil unrest and chemical, biological and nuclear emergencies. The unit will coordinate with FEMA and Homeland Security and go live by April the 1st, 2026. The US gets a rapid response task force built for everything from riots to radiation.
Well, Drew, I'm heading into the world of sanctions. I've got two stories back to back. The United States has announced new sanctions on Russia, targeting two major oil giants, Rosneft and Lukoil, along with 34 of their subsidiaries. The Treasury Department says the move comes in response to what it calls Russia's lack of serious commitment to peace. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent urged an immediate ceasefire and warned of further action if needed. Meanwhile, the European Union has also agreed on new sanctions. And the second part to this story. The European Union has approved its 19th sanctions package against Russia, aiming to further cut imports of Russian gas and oil. According to media reports, the measure also targets companies in China and India accused of helping Moscow evade restrictions. The package includes a ban on Russian liquefied natural gas, blacklisting 118 ships from Russia's so-called shadow fleet, and imposing a full embargo on energy giants Rosneft and Gazprom. Formal approval of the package is expected today. Drew, this is bonkers because they're on their 19th sanctions. What? And that's going to help the war effort in Ukraine. You're just mad. Oil is just going to flow in a different direction. What I really believe is happening is, yes, Europe, you are allowed to buy oil as long as you're buying it from the USA, who have then bought it off of Russia on the cheap. That's what it really looks like out there.
Sounds bonkers. And my next one, SpaceX says it's deactivated 2,500 Starlink terminals used in scam compounds across Myanmar. Investigators linked the networks to human trafficking rings and online fraud operations. Musk just unplugged organised crime's Wi-Fi. That's very interesting.
Do you know what, Drew? That's amazing because Elon Musk is like instantly dealing with these problems where governments can't even raid someone's house who is a known person. It's honestly, Elon Musk is jumping from positivity to positivity with me. My next story. Dublin has seen a third night of unrest as hundreds of protesters targeted a hotel housing asylum seekers in City West. Officers were pelted with stones, fireworks and debris, leaving 2 injured and at least 23 arrested. The demonstrations follow an alleged assault on a 10-year-old near the hotel. Police deployed public order units with shields to disperse the crowd, while authorities vowed a robust response to the violence and said those responsible would face justice. Do you know what? There is a boiling point coming in all countries with regards to this illegal criminal migrant situation, and Ireland seems to be heading there faster than most.
Well, following that, Cuban police arrested a Chinese fentanyl trafficker who escaped from Mexico in July and was wanted by the US. Extradition talks are already underway. Rare cooperation from Havana and a notable score in Washington's drug war.
Well, Drew, Ukraine is facing a severe financial crunch, with reports saying its government only has enough funds to last until April. The European Union is considering a 140 billion euro loan, backed by frozen Russian assets, to keep Kiev afloat. The plan would allow Ukraine to repay the loan only once Russia compensates for war damages. Meanwhile, Ukraine's 2026 budget shows a massive deficit, relying heavily on foreign aid to cover military and state spending. Oh wow, Drew, This sounds like you're loaning your uncle who's always tapped you up for money, who has never ever repaid you. This is not financial business sense, is it? We are loaning someone who is never going to pay us back.
Next, a man accused of killing a young Ukrainian woman on a Charlotte light rail train has been indicted on federal charges carrying the death penalty. Local tragedy now moving into the federal spotlight.
Ukrainian President Zelensky has ordered troops to Turkey and the United Kingdom to operate naval ships stationed there. The deployment includes over 600 personnel who will crew vessels donated by Ukraine's Western allies. In Turkey, sailors will man the new flagship corvette Hetman Ivan Mazepa, while crews in the UK will take charge of 5 mine hunters from British and European fleets. The move aims to rebuild Ukraine's navy after years of losses in its conflict with Russia.
Next up, President Trump told reporters he expects a comprehensive agreement with Beijing covering trade, tech and security. Markets like optimism until the next tariff tweet.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy is facing threats from inmates inside Paris's La Sainte prison, where he just began serving a 5-year sentence. A video circulating online shows prisoners shouting vows to avenge Libya's Muammar Gaddafi, accusing Sarkozy of taking Gaddafi's money and then leading the NATO campaign that toppled him. France's Interior Minister says Sarkozy is now under special protection, with police stationed nearby for his safety. Sarkozy maintains his innocence and has appealed his conviction. French authorities have charged the Chinese national over a €1.5 million gold theft at Paris's National Museum of Natural History. The heist, discovered in September, involved nearly 6 kilograms of historic gold nuggets, including pieces from Bolivia, Russia, California and Australia. Security footage showed a small woman using a blowtorch to break a display case before fleeing the country. She was later arrested in Barcelona, where authorities recovered about 1 kilogram of melted gold. This theft adds to a growing wave of high-profile museum robberies across Europe. Now, when we say across Europe, we mean mainly France, because for some reason they can't secure anything. And now over to Financial Funnies, where we hope to educate you in all things economic, and hopefully you'll find a bit of humour in it as well, because let's be fair, talking about money is boring.
First up, Solana gets its own ETF. Hong Kong approved the first ever spot Solana ETF, joining Bitcoin and Ethereum on the exchange. Solana graduates to Wall Street status, assuming the network stays online.
Morocco's 2026 finance bill is shaking things up. And yes, customs officers now get drones and cameras, so your shopping trips might feel a bit like a reality TV show. Sports companies get 5 years of tax-free bliss, and local industries are getting some serious protection. Sorry, imported jacquard fabrics, you're paying more. Meanwhile, PVC resin and broom makers are the new VIPs. Basically, Morocco is saying, support local, get caught cheating, and we'll see you on the blockchain.
And America's tab just crossed $38 trillion, with interest payments ballooning. The national debt now has its own gravitational pull.
Australia's largest bank is warning everyone to fasten your seatbelts, because we've entered a new economic era. And yes, it's about as predictable as a kangaroo on a trampoline. Expect higher interest rates, lower productivity, and global markets acting like teenagers on TikTok. The chief economist says, forget the free trade era. Now it's all about economic security. So grab your wallet, hold on to your superannuation, and maybe keep a spare Vegemite jar handy, just in case.
And the new Coinbase One card gives 4% back in BTC on purchases. Earn crypto while spending fiat. What could possibly go wrong?
Jaguar Land Rover's August hack just gave the British economy a £1.9 billion headache. That's roughly $2.5 billion, or roughly enough to buy everyone in the UK a cup of overpriced artisan coffee twice. The cyber attack shut down factories for almost 6 weeks, leaving JLR producing zero cars, while suppliers twiddled their thumbs. Manufacturing is back, but economists warn this is a reminder that in today's world, it's not dragons you need to fear, it's hackers with keyboards.
Next up, JP Morgan's $3 billion tower opens in Manhattan at 1,400 feet. $3 billion headquarters now stands at 270 Park Avenue and runs 24/7 with AI, concierge services, on-demand food and round-the-clock trading floors. Wall Street's new cathedral open all hours, fueled by espresso and algorithms. JP Morgan's new $3 billion skyscraper is open 24/7. And central banks are hoarding gold as BRICS nations push for asset-backed trade and reduce reliance on debt-based currencies. A slow pivot from printing money to mining it, the return of real collateral.
XRP might be getting harder to find than your favourite snack at 2 a.m. Large investors and companies are buying and hoarding the token, sending it straight into long-term storage. Ripple's $1 billion G Treasury deal is basically turning corporate finance departments into XRP treasure chests. Analysts warn that as more tokens disappear from circulation, the price could spike. So if you've been thinking of buying XRP, you might want to act before it becomes the crypto equivalent of a unicorn frappuccino, rare, expensive and impossible to get.
That sounds quite exciting, Paul.
It is. People in the know have been keeping an eye on XRP for a very long time, and they've learned the fundamentals of what they're trying to do. They're trying to, how do I describe it, revolutionise corporate finance, moving large sums of money quickly, safely and efficiently. So this is one to keep an eye on. XRP is a favourite of mine. I won't hide that at all. But like I say, who knows? We're going into a wide new world with blockchain at the backbone of it.
And my final story for Financial Funnies is the Bank of England warned that America's $2 trillion private credit market shows risky patterns resembling the subprime era. The shadow lenders of 2025 may be the headline crisis of 2026.
Now everybody, we're going to head over to Hackers Corner, where we try and educate you on how to stay safe and not get your emails turned upside down, inside out, and your crypto disappear in an instant. Drew, what's your first story?
First up, TP-Link Armada routers exploited. 4 critical flaws, 2 need no login. Attackers can take over entire networks. Patch fast or your router becomes a public utility.
Passive Neuron APT is still active. State hackers are using GitHub as their command center. The repo isn't just open source, it's open season. And just to translate that into plain English, they're storing a lot of hacking code on GitHub. They're also hacking code that is already on GitHub. So all eyes are on that at the moment. And if you're a developer, you might want to keep close eyes on what you're up to.
A bug in async tar lets malware hide in nested archives, breaking builds worldwide. Compression has never been so depressing.
And if you're in Ukraine, you might want to watch out. Fake Zooms from Ukraine office, phishing emails disguised as government calls, deploys remote shells. Don't click join meeting unless you enjoy Malware Mondays. And next up is our AI Robots Corner, where we're wondering if the robots are going to take over the world and kill us all, or whether they're just going to get really good at making me a cappuccino. So over to Drew for the first story.
First up, Claude for Life Sciences launches Anthropic's AI now handles lab protocols and genomics data, streamlining biotech research. The lab assistant that never needs a micropipette break.
The Dutch Data Protection Authority is warning voters not to rely on AI chatbots for election advice. A recent study found that over half of chatbot suggestions favoured just 2 major political blocs. Even though the Dutch parliament is highly fragmented, smaller parties were often ignored and advice didn't always match users' stated views. Officials say AI tools remain unreliable and could mislead you, urging people to be cautious ahead of the October 29th national elections. Now, Drew, this is quite major. because we are seeing a massive uptake in AI. People are using AI to run their lives. The problem is somebody programs that AI, which means they have their own political views. And as we look, society is becoming even more lazy. They don't want to make decisions for themselves, and AI chatbots are the easy option.
And finally, Wikipedia traffic is down 8%. AI scraping is stealing page views as users ask chatbots instead of reading sources. Wikipedia raised AI, now AI won't call home. And that's the news. Patched, pressurised and politely unstable. Buy low, meme responsibly, encrypt everything, even your calendar. And remember, the robots are listening, so make good content.
And that was the news on Thursday, the 23rd of October, 2025. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you all over the Insiders Club on a Wednesday and Saturday, where you, the audience, can interact with us, find out what's going on under the surface, the stuff we are not allowed to tell you out on the mainstream media. And this Saturday, we have Jason Q, who dives very deep into what's going on out there in the Middle East. So join us then, and we'll see you soon. Take care. God bless. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.